Hey guys, and welcome to the first episode of COR Meets World. I'm your host, Corey Brandon, and yeah, so let's get into it. I don't know like what I'm doing if I'm being honest. Like, I just wanted to start a podcast, so you're gonna have to bear with me this episode because I'm not gonna know what I'm doing. It's gonna be very choppy, but let me just start off with a little bit about me. So my name is Corey. I'm a sophomore at UNC Chapel Hill, and basically, I just wanted to like create a podcast so I could just talk. I don't know. People always say that, like, Corey, you always have so much to say. Corey, you always have so much opinions and so many things. Oh my God, did I say so much opinions? So many opinions. And, like, you just always just have some, like, a comment on things. And I was like, you know what? Let me use that to my advantage and start a podcast because if they can do it, so can I. So let me just talk a little bit about what this podcast is going to be about. So before you leave, if anybody's even, you know what, in my head, I don't think anybody's going to actually listen to this, but that's okay because literally I went into this like I made this for me. This is just a platform for me. If I'm being genuine, a podcast for me to just like debrief the things that are going on in the world. But yeah, no, that leads me to like just talking about, let's talk about what it's going to be about. This podcast is going to be about trending topics. So like things going on in pop culture, people being canceled, commentary on new films, scandals, all the popular things that are going on in society. But in addition to that, it's also going to be about my life. And not just like the real world outside of campus. I want to talk about the things that are going on campus too. Think of this as just like your one stop shop of getting all of my opinions on everything in the world and everything on this campus. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about my opinions on new music, what I'm listening to, navigating college life's tips, especially, being black at a PWI. Like, there's a lot. There's a whole episode we could talk about, in that realm. Just a little bit about the title and the cover. It can be kind of funny. The title "COR Meets World." I came up with this actually 2 years ago, because I've been wanting to make this podcast for 2 years, but I just never had like the motivation. I don't know, but like after watching, honestly, after watching Just Trish, that podcast with Trisha Paytas, I was like, okay, now this is my time. Like, I really feel like I need to do this because I love that podcast, and I was just like, oh, well, I'm gonna do it. Like, might as well, ma. So anyway, yeah. So the title "COR Meets World," I named it that because it's just like it. I mean, at the end of the day, this podcast is about a young adult. So I mean, I am meeting the world. Like, college is that time in your life where you're meeting the world, where you're having that first introduction to the real world, and that's kind of just how I see this. Like, it's literally just like my kind of just like my intro to real life. And also, like, and it's a double entendre in the sense that not only is it about my experiences in meeting the world, it's also about, pop culture and society and like things going on in the world, trending topics. Like, that's kind of like what I'm talking about. So it's a double entendre. And I was just like, oh, that's a perfect title. And it also plays on Boy Meets World. Everyone knows that. Even my cover does. My cover, I literally made the cover in like 20 minutes. Like, one day, I literally made the cover. Sorry if y'all can hear voices in the back. Okay, I'll explain like the setup and all that in a second. But anyway, yeah, the cover is camp. It's not supposed to be good. I did it in like 15 minutes. Whatever. Who knows? When we get some fans in here, maybe we'll make some merch. Who knows? Anyway, so let's talk a little. I just want to talk a little bit about why I started this podcast, just before I jump into the things you really want to hear about. So yeah, like I was saying, like the Just Trish podcast with Trisha Paytas, and then the Canceled podcast with Tana. Like, I've just been really watching podcasts lately, and I was like, well, you know what? I'm gonna start a podcast. Like, I'm gonna do the thing. I might as well. So, like I said before. Also, I've always known I wanted a platform, but like TikTok is just not. I don't know. I feel like I could do well on TikTok potentially, but like it just. I don't know. I don't necessarily want to be well, I'm not gonna lie. I do want to be an influencer. However, I kind of just want a platform to like spew Corey speech. You know what I mean? I just want to like share my opinions and talk and like, I don't know, have an outlet, I guess, with all the things going on in the crazy college life. But yeah, like I created it also for college students, especially college students younger than me that like can kind of like hear some insight, or even high school students that want to hear more about like college experiences and get advice and whatnot. But yeah, so I have a few questions. I'm gonna stop myself because you know I know y'all are listening, but are y'all listening? I just want to stop myself and ask you guys a few things. So, how do you feel about audio only podcasts, and how would you feel about me doing a video element to the podcast? I know it's the first episode, but I kind of want to get, I don't know, I kind of want to hear opinions first before, like, before we really get into the nitty gritty and start doing this regularly. Um, in addition to like answer that, like wherever you see this podcast, answer that in like the Spotify reviews. If this is on Spotify, I don't know where this podcast is going. I don't know much about podcasting. I'm figuring it out as I go. But like if you see this on Instagram, if you see this on any social media platform, like what? Just answer in the comments. Should I add a video element? What guests should I have? I already have two guests confirmed, two special guests that you all know and love very well if you go to UNC, you know, that I'm going to have on the podcast in the next few weeks. But what guests would y'all like to have? Or if you're conceited and self-centered, do you want to be a guest? Because I'm sure you're like, oh, you should be me as a guest. Everybody's gonna be like, oh, I should be a guest. I have so much to say. But do you? I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, because I don't want to just have like my friends on and people like that I'm with daily. Like, yeah, like obviously they will be, but I also want to have guests that like have interesting stories and things. I would love to have a guest that I don't really know, because then it gives me the opportunity to like, I don't know, like it gives me the opportunity for me to meet them and like get to know them organically on the air. You know, I'm talking like I'm on a real radio station. There's probably gonna be two listeners on this, and it's probably gonna be two of my friends, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm fine with that. Um, but yeah, also like consistency with episodes. Like, I feel like I could do this weekly. I'm gonna really try to do this weekly. I'm gonna get into what I have going on this semester later, but I really do feel like I could do this. I feel like I could do this weekly. Like I don't know. Like I feel like I have it in me, because this is just gonna be like a fun thing for me. This is gonna be a break from work, even though it's still like productive. Like, is it productive? Because am I really working toward anything if nobody listens to this? I don't know. But yeah, I want to see, like, also, like, in the comments, like, tell me, like, oh my God, in the comments, as if anyone's listening to this. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. But I'm very delusional, though. So in my head, there's, like, thousands of people listening to this podcast. So y'all just have to, you know, be delusional with me for a second. So, in the comments. No, but for real, in the comments, like, just like, how many episodes would you guys want? Would you want like a weekly episode, or like how would you want it? But yeah, basically, for my final point on like the preliminary stuff I wanted to talk about, um, if people listen, they listen. I really don't care. I really am not expecting this podcast to like be, you know, popular, because who am I at the end of the day? I'm just a college student, cosplaying as a podcaster, but anyway, yeah, it is going to be like an outlet for me just to talk things out, especially when things get hectic this semester, because they will. Oh, you just wait until I tell you about some of the stuff I have set myself up for this semester. But yeah, let me press this. Hold on. Y'all, this is a really high-tech setup. Let me just talk a little bit about where I am. So I'm in the undergraduate library's podcast studio. And I heard about this, but I didn't realize how high-tech this is. Like, y'all, I can mute myself. I can turn myself up and down. Hold on. Listen, you can hear me going down and up. And, like, that was really unprofessional for me to do in the podcast. But, like, the fact that I can do that is just really crazy to me. Like, the headphones are, like, so high quality. Like, I can hear everything. Like, I can do ASMR. Like, listen to how high-tech this mic is. Like, that's just, like, me tattering with my fingers. Like, it's so crazy how... This is me, like that was, like, me tapping the table. It's so crazy how sensitive the mics are. Like, this school does do one thing right. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I don't know what button I just pushed, but I pushed a button. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Let me just move on. This is why I should not have made a podcast. Anyway, I'm sorry. Moving on. Yeah, so the way that the solo episodes will go, like episodes like this where I don't have a guest, is I'm gonna have a set list of topics to cover, and yeah, like I'm gonna have a set list of topics to cover, and then like whether it has to do with my life or the real world. So I have a little list that I made of topics I want to cover, of just topics I want to cover on the first podcast. Like, like I just have a few things I want to talk about. Um, so yeah, basically, I'm gonna talk about 2024 because it is January 8th right now. I think this podcast will go up January 10th. I'm talking like, oh my god, I am so delusional. But yeah, I think this podcast will go up January 10th. Is that right, Mark? January 10th. Sorry, I'm talking to my podcast producer that I so have. It's going up on January 10th. Okay, it's going up on January 10th, and it'll be the episode will be uploaded early on Patreon for all of our Patreon listeners out there that pay that extra $10.99 a month for the Patreon subscription to COR Meets World. You'll get the episode and the behind the scenes clips early on January 9th. This is so embarrassing, y'all. But like, I honestly feel like that like delusion of like just acting like you have things that you don't, like, it's like a form of manifesting, and like you will have it eventually. So, ooh, I am sorry. I should have turned my ringer off, but I didn't. So, anyway, let's talk about 2024. Going in 2024, I hate to be that person, but I mean, it is a new year and a new me, and like, I can't put it any other way. It's simply the truth. A new year, new Corey. I'm kidding. I don't really want to change that much because honestly, 2023 was an amazing year for me. Like I went to London, I went to Spain. Like it was really it was an amazing year. Like it was. I went to New York and traveled a lot. I went to a few beaches. Like I got a lot of work done. I was really productive. Accomplished a lot. Give it up for the LinkedIn. Oh my God, that was really weird. But no, for real, I built my LinkedIn, I built my resume. Like I really, it was a really good year. It was a really good year. But I feel like I'm using 2023 to kind of double that in 2024. I just want to like keep those themes of 2023 in there. I want to travel. I want to work hard. But yeah, moving into 2024, just a few things I'm doing different. I am starting a new job, which is crazy for me. For anybody that knows me, knows that like I haven't worked since junior year of high school. So like I don't know, I'm excited to like work. That'll be fun. Also, like, what else? Oh, I started an internship, so I'm going to be working and doing a spring internship, which will be interesting. But it's also a paid internship, so like in that light, like I'll have kind of two streams of income this semester, which will be cool. In addition to that, like I also got a lot more involved this semester. I set myself up to do a lot more. Like I'm on exec for 3 campus organizations, which is it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something. And then of course, like I'm talking to y'all as if y'all like know all this stuff already. But like, yeah. And then also like if you know me, I play volleyball. I play club volleyball here. So like that's gonna be another aspect. I feel like this is getting boring. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of talking to y'all about like what I have coming up. So like if you're bored, I'm sorry, but I don't know what else to talk. Well, I have things to talk about, but I just wanted to talk about this. But yeah, I'm gonna have a lot going on, and then obviously I have six classes on top of all of that. So I mean, it's gonna be a really hectic semester. But I wanted to going back to my original point. Like I just wanted to set 2024 up for me to be working for it. Like really getting after it, doing well in school, making money, working toward like my ultimate career goals, all that jazz. But yeah, so some goals I just really want to lock in even more than I was last semester. Even though I would say I was really productive last semester, but I know I can do better. I want to eliminate some distractions and like really just become more independent. Like I feel like last semester I was surrounded by people. I was surrounded by people all the time. And I don't want that for me this semester. I actually hated that for me. I hate that for me. Because, like, I realize, like, I have the most fun when I'm by myself. And that's, like, not a dig at anybody. Like, I love the people that I'm with. I love the people that I'm around. But I just noticed that, when I'm alone, I don't feel any, like, social pressure to keep up, like, a certain act or a certain expectation of my personality. So I just do what I want. Like I got to school early. I actually moved in to campus I moved into campus on, let's see, Saturday. And today is Monday, and class doesn't start till Wednesday. And Saturday was the first day that we could move in, and it was just so peaceful being alone, like that feeling of being alone. And it really reassured what I was going into 2024 with, of like, it's okay to be alone. Like, and obviously, I'm not saying like I'm gonna like stop, like hanging out with my friends and stuff. No, that's like not what I mean at all. I mean that I felt like last semester, I noticed that I was never alone, and it was almost like a feeling of a subconscious feeling of not of being afraid to be alone, which I don't really understand why. I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily what it was, but I definitely just found myself always with a group of people every night, every during the day. I never really had alone time unless I was sleeping, or yeah. So I don't know. I just wanna really emphasize alone time for me, especially alone time with studying, because like I'm gonna have a lot more work, obviously. Um, yeah. Also more on self care and health, not like just physical health, but mental health. Um, I'm sure everybody says this for their New Year's resolution, but hey, I'm doing low carb again. I don't know if anybody's listening to this that has known me since before college, you know the way I used to look. Big. My back was really wide, really wide across the back. I'm sorry, but I was really big. I was a very overweight child. Probably starting from like sixth grade to about junior year of high school. I was very large, very rotund. But that's not the point. But basically, like going from junior year to senior year, or I guess I would say the beginning of the pandemic, I started off, trigger warning for people that don't want to hear about like body image and like weight loss and those things, and especially numbers, because I know they can be triggering for some people. So trigger warning. But I think I started starting off COVID March 2020. I was about 280 pounds, and mind you, at that time I was about 6 foot, maybe even shorter, maybe 5'11". So I was really big. Um, and I don't know what it was, but I think it was like the isolation of COVID and all that. I really turned my life around, did low carb, did a low carb diet, lost 60 pounds in 3 months. Crazy, crazy, crazy drop in weight. Started going to the gym, started lifting, rest is history. But, like this coming into this year, I've set some goals for myself, because I think like I definitely slipped last semester as far as the gym. It was definitely like, I don't know. It was definitely like I was still going to the gym regularly. I was still going to the gym at least 3-4 times a week, and obviously I had like the cardio from volleyball. However, I feel like I could do better, especially with setting specific goals. I feel like I didn't have any goals. I was like, just, is it maintenance? I don't know. I didn't have a goal. I was just doing it. I was on autopilot, which is okay. That's okay, and that's okay. But it's not okay for, I don't know. I think my goals, because I do have a goals, fitness wise, so I set them at the beginning of the year. I definitely want to drop. I definitely want to drop about 30 pounds. Which sounds like a lot, but like I've been doing low carb since January 1st, and I've lost 5 pounds. And when I say low carb, I'm just talking about the keto diet. Let's be real here. I've been eating less than 30 grams of carbs a day. With that being said, I'm not starving myself. I'm just eating a lot more protein and veggies, as opposed to grains and whatnot. But yeah, so yeah, those are definitely my goals. I've been switching to more cardio-based workouts and things like that to just ensure that I am what was I saying? Oh, just to ensure that I am like on cutting. So I'm definitely going from strength training based workouts with a sprinkle of cardio to a cardio based workouts with a sprinkle of strength training, because I just want this cut to go by as fast as possible, so I can just switch to I just want to cut the weight so I can switch to strength training and put the muscle back on. But yeah, enough about fitness. I know a lot of people don't care about that. But yeah, those are kind of my goals for the next semester. We'll see how they go. I think that's all I want. Some exciting news that I wanted to mention. Today, I actually got confirmation this morning that we got my housing group, we got our we just signed our lease and sent in our security deposit, and we are good to go. So that was really good. That was something that was stressing me out, y'all. I was so stressed about not having housing. Like, y'all don't even know. Like, y'all don't even know. I was so stressed out about not having housing. I'm trying to find a house. Y'all, this is the cheapest rent I've ever heard anybody ever having. We pay $500 each. I mean, it is a little far from campus, but I mean, we'll all have cars. So, like, I'm really excited about that for next year. I'm going into junior year. It's just a really exciting situation that I'm happy about. Um, but yeah, I think that's all the Corey updates. I think going into 2024, nothing much is really going on. I don't know. I guess. I mean, I think I'll have more to say once classes start up and like we get into the groove of things and like everyone returns. I'll have more to say about my life. Um, but yeah, especially for the guests. I feel like the guest is another thing. I feel like the guest is when we'll get into more like personal anecdotes and things about my life and their lives. Like I feel like the Corey solo episodes are gonna be heavily focused on the topics, the pop culture topics and the campus topics. There's not much going on campus. Let's move into those. Let's move into the pop culture and the campus topics because I'm really excited about this. But nothing's really going on campus right now. Obviously, everybody isn't even back yet. Like it's Monday, January 8th. Classes don't start till Wednesday, January 10th. I don't blame them. But anyway, what was I saying? Y'all? I totally. Oh yeah, nothing much is going on campus. Kevin G, our chancellor, did step down. Bye. But apparently, the new chancellor that they're thinking of implementing for us is. I don't want to talk about something I don't know much about, but I did see some things online. I would say just like if you're interested in that, like look at the UNC Affirmative Action Coalition's page. They go into it in a lot more detail than I could. Because honestly, I don't know much about him, but apparently the person that they're replacing Kevin G with is, whew, well, y'all, all I can say is that he's going to make Kevin G look like Barack Obama. So, I'm sorry, but that's what I'm getting from this. He's going to make Kevin G look like AOC. Like, apparently this new chancellor is not good news, and yeah, so we're probably in for a ride if we weren't already. So, but anyway, moving on from the campus stuff, I don't care about this. Anyway, so moving on, this is the first topic on the docket for society and like, trending news and music and pop culture and whatnot. Can we talk about Pink Friday 2? And like, okay, I know the people that know me are really tired of hearing about this album. Y'all, if you thought I wasn't going to talk about Pink Friday 2 on the first episode of this podcast, then you had another thing coming. So I'm going to pull up the track list really quick. And I'm just going to talk about what this album means, why I love this album so much. Sorry, I'm kind of going away from the mic a little bit because I'm getting my iPad out. But I just want to really get into this album fully because I feel like first of all, let's talk about the fact that this is her best album. And she's the greatest female rapper of all time, undeniably. And this is her best album. And the reason I feel like this is her best album, in my opinion, I don't necessarily think it's her best album objectively. I feel like objectively, her best album is probably Pink Friday 2, Pink Friday 1, just because of cultural impact. But this album is my personal favorite just because it's the only album by the Nicki Minaj that I can listen to without a skip. I can listen to this album from track 1 to track 22 and not skip a song and be satisfied. And I don't think there's been an album since, okay, this is going to be controversial, but, separating the music from the artist, and I'm also speaking from a standpoint of when the album first dropped, but when Kanye West dropped Donda, I felt like that album had no skips, and it was a very long album. So since then, I have not experienced an album where I felt like there was genuinely zero skips. So with that being said, it's like this album just really meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to all of her fans. I feel like it was because she went into the album not feeling like she had to prove herself like she did with Queen, her fourth studio album. And she went into the album kind of like, I already know I'm the best female rapper of all time. I'm just going to get in the studio and do what I do. I don't have to, there's no expectations. I'm not putting expectations on myself. So she just really went in and did what she wanted to do, and it definitely shows. And I'm just gonna quickly just like I'm gonna make this quick, y'all. I'm almost done talking about it. I know y'all don't want to hear about it anymore, but I just want to quickly just run through the track list and talk about the songs. First, like I'm not gonna talk about every song. It's okay. Like don't think, um, like yeah, I'm not gonna talk about every song. It'll be really quick. So, Are You Gone Already? Billie Eilish sample, amazing. It was about her father. Very very personal. Crazy, crazy song. I love that song. It's gorgeous. Her vocals on the nobody talks about Nicki Minaj's vocals. On this song, Nicki Minaj outsang some of y'all's pop faves. And I'm like I'm sorry. But we'll talk about just honorable mention, Just the Memories, she was belting like some of your R&B faves. So, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I can't help but I'm biased. I'm biased. I'll admit I'm biased. But, Barbie Dangerous is one of, I mean, I'm not, I don't have much to say about Barbie Dangerous other than the fact that this is one of the best songs on the album, and it's one of those songs that just proves why she's the queen of rap. There's no female rapper, dead or alive, that could write Barbie Dangerous and that could execute Barbie Dangerous the way this song is executed. F the Club Up, amazing, amazing. It's a hit, obviously. It's on the radio, it's on TikTok everywhere. Beep Beep, great. Wish it was longer. Falling for You, best song on the album. Best song on the album by far. Let Me Calm Down with J. Cole, beautiful. Let me just go back to Falling for You. Falling for You is so good. Did y'all hear how she harmonized with violins while dissing like everybody? Like that was just really crazy to me. Yeah, Let Me Calm Down, feat J. Cole. J. Cole did amazing. Love the song. R&B, catchy, amazing. Pink Birthday, one of my favorite songs. It's really, really good vibes. Needle, feat Drake. I think Nicki might have redeemed Drake since he's been such a flop lately. I think this like redeemed him because he did a really good job on Needle. Very, very classic Drake vibes. Cowgirl, amazing. Everybody, smash hit. Big Difference. Big Difference was a song made for Sagittariuses. Go listen to it and you'll understand. I'm a Sagittarius, by the way. Red Ruby Sleeves. Once again, we've heard this, like one of the best songs by a female rapper. Forward from Trini, fun, like it's a good song. I don't really skip it. It's really, really gonna do well in the clubs, especially like in the Caribbean. Pink Friday Girl is one of the best samples, hands down. Super Bass's Sister. Super Freaky Girl, I mean, it was a smash hit. First song to debut by number one by some record it broke. It was amazing. Bomb Bomb, Wish It Was Longer, great song. My Life is very serious. I think My Life is just her saying like, like being under the pressure of being a celebrity and all that. Nikki Hendrix, probably my least favorite song, even though I really like it, and that tells you something. Blessings, feat Tasha Cobbs, gospel song, amazing. Vocals on that is really good. Last Time I Saw You, very, very, very good song. And Just the Memories. Just the Memories is one of my favorite songs on the album. And I think Just the Memories is a perfect example of art. Just the Memories and Falling for You. Listen to those two songs back to back, and that's music. I'm sorry. That's music. Yeah, so I wanted to try to get through that really fast because I know y'all don't want to hear about Pink Friday 2, but I had to cover it. I know y'all don't want to hear it because if you know me, I've been talking about it since December 8th, and if I'm not mistaken, it's January 8th. It's been 1 month since that album, and I'm just now starting. Y'all, this is so crazy that I'm recording this exactly 1 month from the day that album dropped, because I would never forget like that. I have not listened to another song other than the songs on that album. I think the first song I listened to that wasn't from Pink Friday 2 was a few days ago. I'm just now leaving the album. I've been streaming solely that album, and that might be considered embarrassing to some of y'all, but I take pride in it. Moving on, the new Hunger Games movie. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I will say this: the new Hunger Games movie, amazing, amazing. The writing in that, the acting in that. What was her name? Rachel Zegler? Amazing. She did, like, when I tell you that is probably one of the most talented actors we have in the industry right now, that is one of the most talented actors we have in the industry right now. And I have never seen her in anything else, but she played that role like no one else could have. And the way that they left Easter eggs in that movie, not Easter, did they call them Easter eggs, like little clues and things? That movie was written by geniuses. And It's gonna really sound like I'm overhyping the movie. I promise I'm not. This movie was a masterpiece, and the Hunger Games trilogy is one of my favorite trilogies ever, hands down. One of my favorite trilogies to ever exist. This probably is my favorite trilogy because Harry Potter is one of my favorite movie series. It's kind of embarrassing. I don't care, but Hunger Games is a close up there too. Probably definitely probably my favorite. So the fact that I can say that this new movie that that they dropped, the prequel, can stand beside all three Hunger Games. Catching Fire might whack it a little bit, but it can stand beside all of the other Hunger Games in that series comfortably, comfortably, um, yeah, comfortably, I would say. Um, I love I love that movie. I definitely recommend going to see it. Can y'all text me? I know, because I know only people listening to this are my friends. Can y'all text me and let me know what y'all think happened to Lucy at the end of that movie? Oh, wait. Oh my God, I just spoiled the movie. I am so sorry. Wait, I didn't spoil anything. Just watch the movie, y'all. But if you already watched the movie, let me know what y'all think happened to Lucy. Because I have my theories. And I was talking to my friend Justin about it. Because we watched the movie together, and he had a completely different theory that I did. But I love the fact that they left the ending kind of, and I love the fact that it lets you kind of see Snow's side, because I can kind of, not to rationalize the Hunger Games, but I not completely, but I can understand his anger and his hurt, for District 12 and just in general. Honestly, like, I'm not gonna say that I agree with him, not by any means. I'm also not going to say that it's justified, but I'm going to say that it gives the entire Hunger Games franchise and trilogy, it gives it a different lens it gives you a different lens to look at it through. Oh wait, I ate that. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I meant to say. Wait, I articulated myself really well there. Anyway, moving on to our next topic, Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Y'all, can we talk about Gypsy Rose Blanchard for like several seconds here? Like, okay. I did not expect this woman to get out of prison and do a press run. She's doing a press run. She is making TikToks, outfits of the days, talking about that the D is fire. Y'all, we have to get this one. Like, someone needs to slow her down. I don't know. Like, she's taking over the world. She's a star. I don't know where I stand on the argument of we shouldn't, because a lot of people are making an argument over on Twitter/X that we should not be celebrating Gypsy Rose and we should not be supporting her, but I think we should, because she served, that's the whole purpose of the justice system. When people do something wrong, the point of the justice system is for them to pay for those wrongs and be able to move on with their life. Unless they get life in there. The purpose is for them to hopefully learn their lesson, go on with their life, and for us not to necessarily hold that against them, because if we don't have forgiveness, what do we have? We're humans, we're born flawed. So, and also she was put in that, if you don't know the Gypsy Rose Blanchard story, basically, she was a girl. I'm not the best person to explain it because I only know the Cliff Notes version. Basically, her mom was poisoning her, making her sit in a wheelchair, and yeah. So making her sit in a wheelchair, poisoning her to make her sick. She wasn't even sick, to get donation money. I think, I don't 100% know. Don't fact check me on that. I wish I'd see if I had a producer. I could be like, Mark, can you fact check that? And he could. We'll get there one day, guys. We'll have a studio, and don't worry, we'll get there one day. Anyway, but yeah, that's basically the story of Gypsy Rose. And she actually let me choose my words wisely. She convinced her boyfriend to murder her mother. And she got her time. I think it might have been 10 years, and she got out early for good behavior, which that's a good sign. But yeah, I'm really wishing Gypsy Rose well. I think this is a good opportunity for her. I think this is I think the press run, for her new docu-series is coming out on Lifetime. A little bit of free promo for Jip Jip. But on Lifetime, that'll be out. I don't know when it's gonna be out, y'all. But yeah, I'm not gonna watch it probably. But you know, wishing Gypsy Rose well. Um, yeah, I just wanted to mention her because she's really been killing it, like on TikTok, everywhere, doing the the View, was it? Yeah, she did it. She did, and she's very well trained, very well media trained. She is media trained. She's been media trained by the best, and you can tell because of the way she maneuvers through questions and the way that she stays consistent with her personality and like with the way she answers things and like with her. I think her brand right now is very, very. I've learned my lesson. Very, I deserve going to jail. Very, what I did was wrong. And they did a really good job with her in that sense. This episode is going to be really long. Let me move on, y'all. I just want to talk about one more thing before we end this episode. I want to talk about Ariana Grande's new single that's coming out on Friday. Okay, so I have a few things to say about Miss Ponytail. So, number one, she is one of my favorite artists of all time. I have like 3 of her vinyls, maybe 2 of her vinyls. I love Ariana. I've loved Ariana since Make It Shine, Victorious. I've loved Ariana for a long time. Um, and I've always supported her music since I remember the day that The Way came out. Like, I'm a big Ariana fan. I really enjoy Ariana Grande, or Grandy, however you say it. But, recently she's been filming Wicked, and she had the controversy with. I told you earlier we were going to talk about cancellations on here. we did it the first episode, but remember when Ariana got canceled for stealing that woman's husband, and now she's dating. She one of her coworkers. Apparently, she's dating one of her coworkers now, who at the time, don't fact check me on this because I don't know, but allegedly at the time. Oh, you see how I added that allegedly in there? Maybe I'm media trained. Allegedly, she was she stole the woman's husband, and the husband was working with Ariana on the set of Wicked. And yeah, so he divorced his pregnant wife. I'm not mistaken, and yeah, don't fact check me on that. But she got canceled for that. I know she got canceled for that. But and then she didn't acknowledge it, which iconic. You don't. I mean, if you're Ariana Grande, you're an A++ list celebrity. Don't acknowledge the Twitter drama. I wish more celebrities would do that. But anyway, not the point of what I'm saying. So now she is coming back since Positions. I think Positions was her last album. She's coming back, and she posted 2 days ago or so that she is dropping a single on Friday. And y'all, go on Instagram and look at her page and look at the cover. She dropped the single cover, and she said it's one of her album covers. I'm so excited, y'all. I am so excited. The title of the song is Yes, comma, and question mark. Okay, hear me out. I'm about to give you an entire concept before I end this. This is going to be the last thing I'll talk about, y'all, I swear. I'm going to give you an entire concept. So imagine this is her addressing those haters, right? And the yes and is saying, I did it. Yes. And what now? Like, I just think that would be iconic, no? Like, if she just, like, went into her Reputation era, like Taylor Swift's Reputation era, really went like a whole villain arc, and was just like, I'm Ariana Grande. I did it. Yes. And? What now? Like, I genuinely feel like, I'm sorry, I genuinely feel like that would be iconic. Like, it would be very, very villainy. I'm not gonna lie, it would be very villainy, but I would support. I think it would be iconic. I don't know. Like, nobody's perfect. Like, I'm not justifying her actions at all, but I mean, hey, I can't do anything about it. I'm just Corey Brandon. I can't change what she did. Like, I'm gonna still stream the music because it releases endorphins. Like, I can't control what she did to SpongeBob's wife. But anyway, yeah. So I think that's what she should do. That's my whole. I think it should be, and I think she should do a music video where she's just full villain, just going around like a town or something, just doing like just not vile stuff, but like like she just licked like the donut. Remember when she got canceled for the donut incident? So then in the music video, she just goes into a donut shop and like does what she did to get canceled. I'm not gonna talk about it, but does what she did to get canceled about the donut, and then walks out of the donut shop, looks at the camera and says, "Yes." And like as a part of the music video, because I'm assuming she's gonna say yes and in the song at some point. So like when that part comes on, she walks out of the donut shop, and like just a bunch of things that people get canceled for, and she just like does them in the music video. She's like, yes, and because like at the end of the day, we're gonna stick beside. I mean, we're not gonna stick beside her, like, but we're going to stream that music, and like, it's nothing wrong with having a villain arc. I feel like I've been the villain in a lot of stories. I'm the villain in most stories because I mean, I don't believe in. I don't know. I just don't believe in being fake. You're gonna get the real me, and a lot of times the real you is just gonna make people feel like you're the villain. So a lot of times, and like, I never understand why people don't what the issue is with being the villain. If there's no villain in a story, then there's nothing interesting about that story. What is Cinderella without the stepsisters? What is Sleeping Beauty without Maleficent? You know what I mean? Like, you need a villain, so somebody has to play it. Why can't it be me? Why can't it be you? Why can't it be us? You know, like, and I'm sorry, but that whole like good always wins mantra, did I say that right? I don't know. That whole good always wins narrative, that's for the movies. That's for the children. That's for the fairy tales. We're in the real world. That's just simply not true. If anything, it's the opposite in the real world. Good never wins. So, with that being said, they need rappers like me. They need what did Nicki say? They need rappers like me. They're gonna come on that keyboard and make me the bad guy, Chun-Li. She said it. We don't even have to say it because she said it for us. But anyway, yeah. But I'm excited for that single. Make sure you guys stream it. For the next episode, I'm sure we will be reviewing that song from top to bottom. We're gonna do that. That's another thing I want to talk about on the podcast. When new songs like that drop, we're gonna be talking about it. We're gonna be talking about all the new. We're gonna talk about the new movies that drop. We're gonna be talking about the new scandals. We didn't even get into half the scandals that are going on right now. We didn't even talk about the judge getting the guy jumping over thing with the judge. We didn't talk about the aliens in Miami. We didn't talk about Cat Williams. We didn't talk about Diddy. We didn't talk about Jeffrey Epstein. There's so many things that we could have talked about, y'all. But we got into what we got into. Because I said we were going to get into some things. I didn't say we were going to get into all things. And that's just how we do it. Y'all, who am I? Anyway, but yeah, that was the first episode of COR Meets World. Did y'all like that? I liked it. I don't know. I thought it was fun. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I thought it was a good time. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for listening to the first episode of COR Meets World. If someone genuinely made it this far without skipping, why? Oh, I'm sorry. Not why, but like, thank you. Like, I guess I didn't think it was that. I don't know. And if you made it this far by skipping, like you skipped through it, I understand where you're coming from. But yeah, anyway, I need to stop talking myself down. Anyway, seriously, thank you for tuning in to the first episode of COR Meets World. Oh my God, I want to come up with one of those slogans. Like, you know how like there's like slogans that podcasts will say, like, tie their name into it to say at the end of this episode. I need to come up with something like that for COR Meets World. Like, blah, blah, I guess it could be like, I could say something like, stay tuned and look out for the next episode to see what or who Corey meets next, or something like that. Corey meets next. I don't know, but we'll decide on that later. But yeah, seriously, thank you for tuning into the first episode of COR Meets World, and I hope to see you next time.